ballroom glittered with chandeliers and expensive perfume, a world that Daniel Carter had never been part of. He was there only because his boss, his Elena Voss, needed a driver for the evening. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and the power of small moments to change lives, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to Kindness True Stories. Also, tell us in the comments where in the world are you watching from. Elena was powerful, sharp, and always in control. The kind of woman who never let anyone see her flinch. But tonight something was different. Daniel noticed it the moment they walked in. The way her jaw tightened when she spotted a man across the room. Tall, confident, arm wrapped around a much younger woman. That was Marcus, her ex. Daniel had heard whispers at the office. The breakup had been ugly. Elena had given 3 years of her heart to that man, and he had walked away without looking back. Daniel stood quietly near the edge of the hall, a glass of water in his hand, wearing his only good suit that was slightly too old for this crowd, when Elena appeared beside him. Her voice was steady, but her eyes told a different story. "Dance with me," she said. "My ex is watching. The reward is a kiss." Daniel looked at her for a moment, not with shock or excitement, but with something quieter. He set his glass down gently and said, "I will dance with you, Ms. Voss, but not for a kiss, and not because your ex is watching. I'll dance with you because you look like someone who deserves to feel good tonight, and not because of him." Elena blinked. She had expected a yes or a no. She had not expected honesty. They stepped onto the dance floor, and Daniel moved carefully, not perfectly, because he was not a trained dancer, but with respect and steadiness. He held her hand like it mattered. He did not try to impress her. He just showed up the way he always did, quietly and completely. "You have a daughter, don't you?" Elena asked softly as they swayed. "Yes," Daniel replied. "Lily, she's 7. She's the reason I work double shifts. She's the reason I iron this old suit and show up every day." Elena felt something loosen in her chest. She had spent years surrounded by people who performed kindness, who smiled for reasons, who gave with one hand and calculated with the other. Here was a man who just told her the truth, a man who worked hard and loved honestly and asked for nothing. By the end of the song, Marcus was no longer watching, but Elena was. She was watching Daniel, the way he quietly thanked the nearby waiter, the way he checked his phone with a small smile that she somehow knew was because of Lily, the way he never once tried to be something he wasn't. Weeks passed. Daniel continued driving her to meetings and late-night events. They began talking more. She learned about Lily's love for drawing and how Daniel stuck her artwork on the refrigerator like it was the finest gallery. He learned about Elena's difficult climb to the top, the sacrifices, the loneliness she had wrapped in ambition. One evening, stuck in traffic, Elena turned to him and said, "That night at the gala, what you said changed something in me." Daniel kept his eyes on the road. "I just told you the truth." "That's what changed things," she said quietly. "It was not a movie romance that happened overnight. It was slower and more real than that. It was Elena showing up at the office on a Saturday and finding Daniel had fixed the coffee machine that had been broken for weeks because someone mentioned it bothered the staff. It was Daniel seeing Elena sit alone in her car for 5 minutes before walking into a difficult meeting and saying nothing, just making sure there was hot coffee waiting when she came back. It was 2 people, each carrying their own weight, beginning to set some of it down near each other. The night Elena finally met Lily, the little girl looked up and said, "Are you Daddy's friend?" Elena knelt down and said, "I'm trying to be." Lily handed her a drawing she had made, a house with 3 people in it and a yellow sun. Elena held it like it was precious because it was. Life did not suddenly become easy. Elena still had battles at boardrooms. Daniel still had long nights and early mornings. But something had shifted. They had found in each other not escape, but companionship. Not performance, but presence. Real love does not always arrive in grand gestures. Sometimes it arrives in a simple truth spoken on a dance floor, in the quiet courage of a single dad who showed up honestly, and in the heart of a woman who was finally ready to believe that she deserved something real. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, And subscribe to our channel Kindness True Stories, where every story is a reminder that goodness still exists and love still finds its way.